Welcome back to the after sermon where we get to sit down with our communicators from the weekend and dig a little bit deeper into the sermon.
Yes.
Eric Parks.
Hi.
Thanks for being here.
Well, I will say walking up here, someone asked me if I was a farmer. I said, you're saying my bit? I look like a farmer?
Well,
it was a youngster too. It was like a 16-year-old kid, and I know her, and she was wearing overalls.
Was she like,
hey, you're wearing overalls. I'm not a farmer.
You are not.
I don't have a green thumb.
Although you are from Rockford.
Amen. They don't really farm there.
Oh.
Not in Rockford so much.
Really?
No.
See, I always thought they did.
No.
Oh.
Anyway.
Well, welcome, Farmer Eric.
So I am the communicator. I just wanted to establish that I am the communicator.
He is the communicator, and I've got a couple questions for you.
Cool.
So our new series, Flannel Graph.
Yep.
Which I brought some show and tell.
Oh, I love it.
Look at this.
Oh, bro.
It's a real
That's a real flannel.
That's a real one. That's what a flannel graph is.
Wow.
So it's felt on felt.
Technology.
That's right.
1980s technology.
So we chose the name flannel graph because what we wanted to do was not just for nostalgia's sake, but like go to these stories that we know.
Yeah, totally.
And like look for something in it that's not what we most likely go to in our brains when we hear, oh, David and Goliath.
Right.
So for you, in preparation for this message, like what's hiding in this story that, maybe we don't normally see?
Well, I would say for sure when that's what I love about just coming back to scriptures. The Spirit will like guide you into something new. But actually, the thing that I think was hiding in this was all about, for me, identity. Like we see it as a story of against all odds.
Yes.
We were saying that before.
Yeah.
And certainly on the surface, there's, it is about a small guy fighting a big guy, one guy with a sling, other guy with armor. But really, for me, when I read the text, I went, gosh, this feels like an identity story. Yeah. This feels like a kid who his whole life pretty much had been told he didn't measure up, that, he was the runt of the kids. When they were looking for a king, they left him out. When he showed up, they all were like, his brother's like, bro, go home. Like, you don't know what you're doing. Yeah. And yet he had a sense of who he was in God, like that he could ignore, hey, you don't know what I've been up to in that.
There's definitely, I noticed this, in looking at this again, there's an extreme amount of confidence.
Tons, man.
And I think the question we started asking is, where did this come from?
Well, and that's just it. It wasn't just like self-belief. He had spent a ton of time with the Lord, and he says it like, he's like, the Lord's going to deliver you into my hands. Like the Lord, he gives all the credit for where it came from, but there was a level of confidence that comes from knowing who you are. Like, I know who I am, and I know who God is, and I know who he says I am. That's why in, I think 1 Samuel 16, or maybe, like the chapter 4, it says, man looks on the outward appearance. That's not what God does. He looks to the heart, right? He looks somewhere deep. And I just think this is an identity story. Otherwise, you just go home, right? You just go like, oh yeah, you're right. I'm not a fighter, a warrior. I'm really just here to deliver food. And
literally,
I'm literally a Grubhub. I'm great. And I should just go home. And he's like, wait, did he just talk trash on God? And then you can almost see the kid looking around going, and so nobody's going to do anything? Like, nobody. Okay, I'll fight him. And he was legitimately ready to fight him. And then, gets the armor put on him, and he's like, well, I can't wear all this. It's not me. That's the identity piece. He's like, that's your armor. Saul, this is your stuff. It's not me. And he lays it all on the ground. You can almost see, like, he lays all of it on the ground and says, no, God's been training me in a wilderness, in a field, in these quiet moments. I have supreme confidence in him and who he made me to be, and I'm just going to walk in that. I think that's so cool.
So that to me, like that identity for David was formed in these obscure years, these quiet spaces. And what it made me think about was like how we've been on this, discipleship journey through Follow, and it made me think of the quiet moments listening to our rabbi.
Yeah.
Like, it may not be shifting mountains in that moment, but what is it preparing us for in the future? And so I'd love for you to talk a little bit about the wilderness.
Man, we could do a whole sermon series.
I know we could.
Because we live in a culture now where much of our purpose is defined by how many followers we have and what kind of life I can broadcast. So nothing is quiet.
Right.
There is no silence. It is like, this is what I'm doing and here's where I'm going, and you know the thing.
Like, why didn't David have an Instagram account?
I mean,
he was talking about his slingshot. Bro, I got the newest model.
I just got the bear today. But we do, right? We live in this culture of like, anonymity is not to be pursued. And there is almost a sense like, well, if nobody knows my name, well, then I need to make sure people know my name. And so we do all the things to try to bring, attention to ourselves. I think David's story is one where he was comfortable being anonymous, being in a field, in some ways being the runt.
Yeah.
And it teaches us something both, and we were talking about this before, you see this, in Jesus' life, that those 3 years of his life was public.
Yeah.
The rest, which we know very little about, we don't know what he was doing. We don't know. He was anonymous. Is that David? Right?
Yeah.
And I think there's something to be learned in that, in the wilderness, in the desert, out in the field. The Lord does stuff in us, teaches us, trains us. It's why in Matthew chapter 4, it says that it was the Spirit that led Jesus to the wilderness. Because he does this work out of the public view. And notice that's why this story is so powerful to me is, yes, God was there. He certainly got all of the credit. I believe he directed that rock. But I also know that everything David needed for that battle was all built, not in that valley. It was built in an anonymous field somewhere.
I think that's the cool part is though we may not know much of Jesus's, life, maybe we actually know more about David's childhood than we do of Jesus.
Yeah, for sure.
But even though we may not know, it is clear that God did something in David's life in those years to then DoorDash some loaves of bread to his brothers and then all of a sudden be like, wait a minute, what's going on here? I can do something about this.
And God doesn't waste anything.
No.
I think that's the part I often hear, and it grieves me, is people are like, man, I've wasted so many years.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
Well, it's really interesting that God, literally you see it in nature, right? Where nothing gets wasted. Everything alive turns back into fertilizer. We get grounded. He wastes nothing ever. And I feel like that is a great way to see all of our lives. He's not wasting our pain. He's not wasting that journey. He's not wasting those seasons of anonymity. And in fact, he's probably building something for the giants you will face. And we will face giants of all sorts. And Malcolm Gladwell, in his book where he covers some of this, he talks about giants as these oppositional forces, the sicknesses, these things that come against us that fill the entire screen of our entire vision, right? You can't see beyond it. That's that. But and that's what Goliath was. So from the metaphor perspective, God was building David long before this moment. And because he was building him long before his moment, when he walked in this moment, he was like, I'm good. I know who I am and I know who God is.
Yeah.
So he put nothing in David's hand. He put nothing in his hand. It was already there.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's the interesting thing about our wilderness seasons or times where you mentioned this, where like, there's seasons where like maybe we were just like, we kind of edited it out, or we, we're like, oh, like, that was like, that's not relevant to who I am today. But I think that point that you just made, where God wastes nothing, like, I think we can still look back to those times that maybe we didn't, in our minds, maybe we got swallowed up by the moment.
Sure.
Maybe we didn't make the most of it. But like, we can still look back and see how God has been shaping us through that and still apply that to what we're facing today.
And I ultimately think it comes down to giving God all of those moments, right? Like learning how, when it is time, which he did, he said, this battle is the Lord's, this victory will be his. Yes, he did train me, and I am confident, but I am confident in him who has led me against a lion and a bear, who trained me in these fields, right?
Sorry, I just went back to the lion beard.
You see, I grabbed him.
You gotta watch the message.
Watch it. Well, with that,
yeah, you gotta watch it.
That's a great like segue into go watch the.
Yeah,
message.
I think we're gonna end there. So you guys know the drill by now. If you want to hear the entire message that this conversation was based on, head to our YouTube channel, check it out wherever you get your podcasts, and we'll see you next time.